Take number 12. Action. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Sit and See with D.I.G. I'm Vanessa.
I'm Davonte, and we are the co-founders of Drip and Grace. We are excited because today is the first episode of our podcast, and alongside with photography, we are going to use this platform to be able to share other stories and allow you to be able to eavesdrop on conversations that we have with some beautiful people around this world. And so we hope that this is something that builds community, fills your heart with grace, and allows a trusted place and protected space for people to really thrive and become and grow into the people that they're called to be.
Yes, so we have some really amazing guests that we're so excited to introduce y'all to. But first, we're gonna kick things off with a tradition that we are starting right now. It's going to be, we start things off every podcast with a grace-timony. A grace-timony is something that we've created, and basically we just discuss either a way that we've received grace or given grace. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start with mine. My grace-timony for really this month is just being graced by God to be able to finally receive a new job that's going to allow me to make a little extra income and just be able to set things up for my future, which has been kind of a slow start since I got out of college, but I'm super excited to just receive this grace gift now and be able to move along in my journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. My grace-timony is not something I received, but it's something that I give to all these bugs in Florida who try my life every single day. And I could just easily take them all out, all of them, every single one. But I'm not. I'm giving them grace. I'm letting them live, letting them do whatever God wants them to do on this earth. That's gonna be a big question to ask God when I get to
Why were they created?
Why? There's no point.
What's your favorite one?
I'm sorry for those who love bugs out there, but I don't kill them, I give them grace. What?
What's your favorite one?
Bug? I don't have a favorite bug.
What's your least favorite?
Probably a cockroach. Cockroach. A roach. I don't know. All right, so sit and see as we go into our grace space where we have some special guests for our first podcast. We are so excited, so stay tuned. All right, so you ready? Let's get started.
Yep. All right, we are so excited to get our first episode going. As many of you guys know, or maybe you don't, it's Pride Month, and we truly believe that this community needs to have more grace stripped into it. So what better way than to have a couple from this community join us today?
Ooh.
Hey.
Pride Month. Hey, I love the hashtag Pride when it goes to rainbow. That's so dope.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
How dope
I love
that.
that they did that.
But yeah, so like she said, just to reiterate, our logo means a protected place for life and activity. And so we're a lifestyle brand. We truly want to create these protected spaces for people to come as they are and share their story. And so obviously it's Pride Month, and this is no exception to that rule. All is welcomed into our grace space. And so we are so excited to introduce the very first guest, Kaelynn and Micheala. Or should I say Micheala and Kaelynn?
Hi.
Who's more important?
Hello.
So this one's extra special to me, obviously, because some of y'all who are watching this may already know this, but we're gonna reach the freaking globe with this probably. So all y'all people who don't know us, Kaelynn is my sister, and she is my beautiful, wonderful, big-hearted, funny, big-headed, big-headed, wonderful sister that I love so much, and I'm so excited for her and Micheala to be our first guest on the show.
Yes. What's up, y'all? How are you doing?
Great. We're doing great. We're so happy to be here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just so excited.
Are you excited to be our first podcast?
Super excited, but nerve-wracking. We gotta set the bar high.
I know. We have to start out on top.
Definitely gotta set the bar high, but excitement's real. We're excited. We've been waiting to do this for a while. We're on this call like an hour early, thinking like, oh my gosh, what are we about to do? What are we about to say? What are we gonna do? But just to start things off light, we want to do this challenge that I told you about. So
You don't want to take them back.
What?
You come in here and take them back.
Is it bad if we change our background?
So we're gonna start off with this challenge, and obviously it's nothing crazy, but it's gonna be 2 rounds, 45 seconds each person. If you want to make this competition, you can. Whoever does it the best, we can.
I don't know if that's.
do something.
I mean, I'll obviously win. So
All right. So it's
technical difficulties.
So it's as simple as this. In 45 seconds, and I got my watch out. So I'm 45 seconds. Each of you are going to tell the people who you are.
Kaelynn won.
Oh my god, that's actually a long time.
45 seconds or less.
Yes, there we go.
You just can't go past 45 seconds. That's the challenge part. Kaelynn,
To tell us who.
Oh gosh. I don't know if this is like a job interview. Tell us a little bit about you.
it is like a job interview.
Yeah,
huh?
definitely.
So you go first. Start.
Okay, when does this? Okay, are you timing me?
Start now.
I'm Kaelynn. Kaelynn Mall. Gotta go get a towel.
So she's done. Start by 45.
I need a towel.
If that is not
Bro,
this, then I don't know what is.
it
Yeah, I was just about to say this is about to be so relatable. I love it because it's not like
Right.
is so funny, bro. Ace is gonna be 21 years old. Like, Mom, I need some more toilet paper.
Yes. 1,000%.
Okay, Kaelynn, 45 seconds. Tell the people who you are, whatever you want them to know. No longer than 45 seconds. So.
Okay, I'm Kaelynn Green. I'm a mom. I have a 6-year-old. His name's Ace. I love him. I have a girlfriend. Her name's Micheala, and I love her. And I love my family. And I love sports. I love softball. Graduated from Marshall University. Love the herd. Has it been 45 seconds?
It's only been 20 seconds.
You didn't mention Dixie.
Oh, and I have a golden doodle, and I love her.
And you have a son.
You were the first thing I said.
Where are you from?
I am from Southern California, born and raised. Obviously went to school in West Virginia, and then I ended up living in Florida for a year, and then now I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
45 seconds.
That was very enthusiastic.
All right. All
it was
right.
good.
That
Lots
was
of
good.
information right there.
Yeah, that was good. I don't think I've ever heard anybody tell who they are like that ever. So that was good. What's up, Ace?
What's up?
So glad you could join. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Sit and See with D.I.G. You ready to be on the show?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we should have Ace tell us in 45
Okay,
seconds.
Ace, 45 seconds. Tell us about you.
Ready? You ready? Set, go.
I'm from Kansas City, and And my favorite thing is Roblox and video games.
Ooh.
Ooh,
And football.
And what
And
else?
football.
Anything else about you? We want people to know.
And I am 6.
Ooh.
I think your time's up. Take us
Oh.
off.
You got 5 more seconds. You
What
got.
else you want to say?
You can tell people one more thing about you. What is it?
One thing you want people to know about you.
My one more thing to say that my last favorite thing is candy.
Ooh, I knew it. I was just waiting for that one. I was so surprised the whole time. I'm like, is it not
Yeah, you
talking
didn't say
about
anything.
candy?
Popsicles, candy.
Yeah. I was like, when is the candy gonna show up?
Nice.
Quick story. Quick story.
Oh,
Quick
man.
story. When I was living with Kaelynn, Ace I don't even know how old Ace was. He was probably like 4. I don't even know.
No, it's like 2, 3.
Oh,
No, actually.
He was small, but
3 or 4.
he would wake me up on the couch at Dixie. He would wake me up on the couch at like 7 a.m. talking about, Uncle D, can I have some candy? I'm
He
like,
really
"Bro,
would.
what the heck?"
And you probably gave it to him too, huh?
No, heck no. I went straight back to
He
sleep.
would. I'd be dead asleep and he'd go, in the Uncle D, can I have some candy?
Yeah, you already got me.
He did. He did send you
I
candy.
send you some candy. All
Oh,
right.
you got it?
Yeah, he got it. All right, Micheala.
All right.
We've stalled long enough.
I know.
She's like, dang, I thought you forgot about me.
I'm like, all right, so next question.
Exactly. She's like that.
All right,
My
so
phone's not gonna be that big.
we're gonna bump it down to 30 seconds. 45 seconds is a long time. So no longer than 30 seconds. Tell the people in this world who you are.
All right. Well, if you don't already know me, I am Micheala from Kansas City, Missouri. Went to school at Idaho State, go Bengals, out in Idaho. Then moved to California and met this girl, who's a lovely little lady, and got her to move back to Kansas City.
Ooh.
Am now a mom of a 6-year-old that you have seen on the screen, and a golden doodle that does not look like a golden doodle anymore. 3-year-old golden doodle. Love her, love my family, love my friends, love coaching softball.
You love me?
Yes, I love Ace Green. Could not forget about him. Yeah.
All right.
30 seconds.
I actually
That was actually a good job.
You weren't talking about you.
that was 58 seconds. I just forgot to look at the clock.
This guy, she talks slow. She's like, if you don't know me,
I know. Kaelynn was like,
my name.
Kaelynn was like, I'm from here. I do this and I do this.
Yeah. Kaelynn,
I'll probably
like
compliment each
Kaelynn's
other.
me and Micheala's you,
Yeah,
Davonte.
me and Micheala are on the same vibe.
Yeah.
All right, next
All
round.
right, round number 2. Are you guys ready? All right, so round number 2 is we can do under 30 seconds instead of 45, but just give us a brief explanation of what grace means to you.
Yeah, this is kind of the same, but yep, she can go for it. And then I'll be like,
Grace to me, I was thinking about this the other day, and there's just so many things I feel like but the main thing that kept coming to me was love. And so to me personally, grace just means unconditional love. There's no, like, the true definition of it. There's no restrictions. There's no if, ands, buts, it's, I don't even know how to explain it because it's insane, but like, I feel like grace is also a feeling as well. Like, just like that feeling of like grace. Like, I don't know how to explain that either. It's hard, but if I had to explain it, it'd be unconditional love for me.
Love it.
Yep. I'm like,
Yeah.
same. No, we were actually talking about it a little bit, and we both were thinking like the unconditional love aspect of it. Hi, come on. But just like also just completely understanding someone, and just no matter what, that you're gonna love or try to understand someone and another individual, and not just go off of any other thing than that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Dixie's trying to speak on it too.
Dixie, what do you have to say?
Yeah, Dixie, tell them. Same.
You're ruining video. Stop!
She's from the pet store.
But yes, I would say grace and unconditional love and forgiveness is like my main things when it comes to grace.
Nice. Nice.
Anything to
So
add?
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I like those. I like those a lot. I love how Micheala, you said no matter what. No matter what was, I think that was like a shirt idea that we had at one time or something.
Yeah, we did.
No matter
That's
what.
a good idea.
I think that
that.
would
Yeah.
be dope. I think that would be super dope. Cool. So thanks for doing that challenge. Obviously, it wasn't really we didn't really challenge all.
I won.
Oh my gosh. So cool. So we're gonna dive deeper just a little bit. Obviously, y'all told us who you are individually, but y'all are on this call together. So we want to know who y'all are together. And so we just want to ask the simple question of what's your story? Tell us anything that you want to tell us. Start wherever you want to start. You can end wherever you want to end, but let's hear your story.
I personally,
you have to tell the story from the beginning of the story.
I personally love telling our story because, and honestly, I'm just gonna preface this with, for the rest of the call, there's gonna be so many things I say are cliche, but like they're not cliche anymore. Like they really, anyway. So it's like, obviously the quote that's like, every story is beautiful, but our love story is my favorite. Like, I literally love our love story. Like I love it. Okay, so I mean, in the moment I didn't, but now looking back, okay. So anyways, we both graduated college in 2016. I went back to California because that's where my family is, and she went back to like coach, and I mean, you always added whatever.
Yeah, I just moved to California to kind of just figure out something new, like figure out myself, get uncomfortable, put myself in a new environment to
But she's from
get comfortable. Yeah. And I had always, like growing up, wanted to be in California to an extent, or wanted to at least like live there for a little bit.
She lived on the beach, like
yeah,
had
so
a little
like
the what are
why
those
not
things?
try it?
Boards.
Yeah, like I mean, the surfboard, a paddleboard, and
Well, the
all
other
that
one that you
stuff,
skate,
yeah.
isn't it skateboard?
Oh, longboard.
Longboard, yeah. She longboard down the beach. Like she just wanted to be like a little beach girl, I guess.
Living her best life.
My room in high school, my mom painted it beach theme. Like it was all like, yeah. It was just like I wanted to at least like try that out and see how it is. So when I graduated college, I was like, why not now? Why not try it?
And this time I wasn't with anybody. Like I had already had Ace. But I was like, I was still trying to figure myself out because of a, past relationship, and just like seeing what I really want in a relationship. I don't know how to describe it. Just like who I was on my own and who I wanted to be when I was with someone and things like that. But anyway, so I was just like in an open space. At the time I wasn't really looking. I wasn't really doing anything. I ended up getting into coaching, something I wanted to do for myself. And then we ended up meeting because you helped coach.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
I was coaching in a different organization at the time, but we knew
the same coaches.
We knew kind of like the same people. Like basically like one of the only people I knew in Southern California, she knew as well.
Yeah. So then we all ended
So
up
that's
going to
yeah.
eat at Yard House. I was there first. I'll never forget because they kept talking about her. And we're like, oh no, like this girl, like we call her Kansas. Like she's from Kansas. We call her Kansas. Like she's really cool. Don't worry. And I'm like, who is this girl that's coming to eat with us? Like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know how to describe it. Like she walked in and I was like, oh my God. Wow. Oh my I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't know. It's different because it's I don't know. Like literally just like looking at her, I was like, wow. I don't know why I just got this like sudden like feeling like, wow. Like it sounded like she was like she was in a prom dress. I'm like she was like in coaching. I don't know what it was. Like I literally was like, I was like, oh my God. Like and just seeing her at first, I thought that, and then I was like, okay, she's probably like a
She's probably
like yeah, like she's probably like just like her personality probably is like trash or something. I don't know. And like the whole rest of the night, like, she's just talking, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like. And I want to try to find these text messages, but I sent text to my best friend at the time. And I literally sent her a text saying like, if I marry anyone, I think it's gonna be this girl. And she was like, what? She was like, can we rewind? At the time I was going on dates and stuff, but like I did the whole Tinder thing, like I did all that, like I dated guys, like I obviously had a kid, like all that, and like I literally told my friend that, and she was like, that doesn't even make sense. I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, if I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with anyone, like it's gonna be that girl. Like I know it is. Like I just like I don't know. It was like a connection, a vibe I have with her. Anyways, moving on.
But when I walked in, I was like,
yeah,
okay,
let's get your perspective.
She's kind of cute, but I was like, all right, don't know who she is. So I was like, I'm just gonna ignore her, play that card. Yeah, it worked out for me.
Yeah.
She did play very hard to get.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. And then and then you move first. I move first. What do you mean? So out of California.
Oh yeah. I did. But we talked about it.
Yeah, so she talked to me about moving to Kansas City.
I basically like
moving
we
back
were
home.
for like the whole time, like we were just friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was never anything. We were just chill.
But I would like sneaking compliments. I'd be like, wow, you look really beautiful. Like, you'll just say that. And she's like, LOL.
She's like, I know.
I was like, okay, she literally hates you.
Did y'all know, or Kaelynn, did you know that Micheala, and you didn't know?
I had no clue, actually.
And I
definitely didn't think.
Yeah, I didn't. I had asked and I was like, so what's up with like this girl, Kaelynn? Like, you know her or whatever. And she was like, oh yeah, like she has a son. And I was like, oh, okay, so not like I'll move on. Whatever. Easy, done. And so I just thought nothing of it. And then
I started sneaking little like flirts in there, and she didn't care. But still want to hang out with me. And I was like, no, like either we're getting married or you leave me alone. You ain't wasting my time. Like I ain't gonna just be friends with you. Like you're literally.
I was like, let's have a friendship. Let's be friends, and then
I was like, no.
She would like decline. I'd be like, let's just go out and hang out. Like go to watch softball or go like something. Just, no, can't. And I'm like, oh.
But then I would end up going, and then I would like not. I was so shy.
I like Kaelynn is shy.
I'm not even kidding you. She got in my car and like sat in there and like put her hand on like the rest, and I literally scooted over in my driver's seat. I was like,
yeah,
like I was so
and she didn't talk. Like Davonte, your sister did not talk. Like for like a full year of us like trying to
just be friends. Yeah.
Like me getting to know her on like a friend level, she did not talk. And
not
that's
the whole
not
time. Like towards the end, we actually talked. But
yeah,
the beginning, like.
End. But she would be so nervous. I'm like, oh, do you like this song? I like this song.
And I'd be like, yeah, it's good. Try.
I'm like,
I know she's like, oh, you like me? I can't tell.
I can definitely.
But anyway, she just wasn't ready for a relationship at the time. And in retrospect, I probably wasn't either. She ended up moving back home to Kansas. I ended up moving to Florida to be a coach there. And then after that season, I decided that coaching wasn't for me. She had moved back home to save money and buy a house of her own. So that's what she was in the process of buying a house here. When
3 years ago yesterday.
Yeah, 3 years ago yesterday.
Yeah.
So she was in the process of buying a house here, but she reached out to me.
Jade.
Okay.
And double texted me.
Which I have never done.
Which you've
before.
never ever done. I literally like text her all the time before, and she would not respond to me or like do one word or like respond hours later, like stuff like that, like no interest. And she messages me and it's like, hey, I saw that you guys might be playing in Palm Springs. Like,
I'll be there.
And I'm like, I'm not even gonna have a screenshot and send it to my cousin. I was like, why is she messaging me? I was like, if she's not proposing,
and she didn't respond.
Like if she's not literally asking, telling me she loves me, like do not talk. Like I don't want to talk to you. Like I can't just be friends with you. Like I know what I felt.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
either you're not in my life or you're my wife. That's it.
That's amazing. Oh my
So she did respond.
I didn't even respond. Ended up seeing her in Palm Springs.
Oh.
And I'm like, so she's like, hi. And I was like, okay, man, I'm just gonna see her. And like, it's probably not even gonna be a big deal. Like, that feeling's like not gonna be there. Text my best friend, like, seeing that girl again. Like, I wonder if the feelings are still there. This is in 2018, so 2 years ago. And of course, I walk up to her and I'm like,
like it's not getting like she's just like, hi. Like,
I was like,
hey.
Oh,
and then
Did you tell her that you were gonna come?
Huh?
Did you tell her that you were gonna come, or you just showed up after you?
So she was there coaching, and I was going to the same tournament, like same collegiate tournament, to watch former players.
So she just texted me when she was there and said like she knew where my team was.
I was like, I'm here, like, I want to watch you guys, like.
So she was at the game, yeah.
And I know, like, college coaches, like, you don't have like that much time, like in between, if any. And I was like, if you can get away, like, I'm here. I'd like to see you, like type of thing. And she did.
For like 5 seconds, I like was shaking, and then I left, and I was like, I ruined everything. Like, look, that could be my one chance to tell her I'm in love with her. I'm just kidding, I don't think I'm in love with her yet, but like, I literally, but like, yeah, that's crazy. But then she texted me later and was like, it was so nice seeing you with a happy face, and I was like, what is she doing? What is this game? What little game is she trying to play?
You're like, she still has it.
And, no, literally, like, what are you doing? But then, yeah, she ended up coming out. Eventually, we're just like, are you gonna come visit Florida? And she's like, yeah, why not?
And it was kind of crazy how that whole thing happened, because like it takes me a lot of like planning and a lot of thinking about like what can happen in any situation for me to go and do something. And so she was like, oh yeah, like come to Florida and visit. And I was like, oh yeah, like I'd like to come out and visit, like whatever. But I wasn't really like, I was like on the fence. And she's like, so have you bought your ticket yet? And I was like, oh shoot. I was like,
she's like, she really tells me she really wants to go.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, y'all buy it now.
I was like, I ain't playing this game. If she didn't even fly out here, like,
which we were both in like the same boat. It was like, okay, well, we need to at least like, because that time it was still like on like a friend level, like we
were
had
texting.
it, like but it was still like as like a friend basis to an extent, but like kind of like teetering that line. And so we both were kind of like, okay, one of us needs to either like, I either need to go to Florida or she needs to come to Kansas City. Like, we're not just going to keep doing this. So then flew to Florida, and then here we are.
The rest is history.
How is it being? And I guess this is another question I have between like so there's LGBTQ plus. So I always get confused on, and me and Vanessa had this conversation. Do we call y'all a lesbian couple or a gay couple? Like, is there a difference? But we can talk. No, we'll talk about that later. So how does it feel as parents being parents as
in that community,
two mothers?
Yeah, it's weird because it is very different, and then it is very similar where it's like, you don't really notice a difference, but when you're out in public, you do, because like we don't realize, because that's our everyday life. That's what we do. But like when we're out in public, it's like, oh, people aren't just gonna know that she's his mom. Like people aren't gonna know that that's who she is to him. And people aren't gonna assume that either. That's not the person they're gonna assume. And we do like get nervous, like meeting other parents. Like, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna like? Which luckily we personally have never experienced that. Like, thank goodness. Like honestly, living out here and like, I don't know, we've never had any issues, and like we've been friends with our neighbors, his soccer teammates' parents, like stuff like that. But like whenever he's on a new team, like it's still like we kind of sit away from the parents, and then like we kind of just feel like they'll realize it eventually when we show up to the game every day and every game together.
We're very much the type that like we know that not everybody agrees with it, so we're not gonna like not push it on anybody or anything. Like as long as you look at Ace the same, then that's like the biggest thing for us.
Like we're not trying to force people to accept us, but accept ourselves.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, like we're not just gonna go sit next to a family and be like, hey, and like hold hand and be like, no, that's not like we're just normal people. And then I don't know, but I think that's probably one of the biggest things about being moms is like making other parent friends and telling them like, yeah, it's us.
We're actually together.
Yeah, we're actually together, not best friends, not cousins, not.
Yeah, I can imagine that's like it's kind of hard that's like a wall that you have to break every time that you meet a person.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. I mean, even talking about moving, like we already know our neighbors, like all our neighbors know us, like,
and are very accepting.
Very, very accepting. Like, and it's not like, oh, those are the lesbian, that's the lesbian couple on the corner. Like, no, it's just like, oh yeah, Micheala and Kaelynn live there. Like they have Ace. Like, it's just like, so moving is scary. Like we want to move because we want to be in a bigger house or a whatever, like better schools or whatever reasons that we have for moving. But yeah, it's like, we had to think about that. Yeah. Like we text people like, hey, do you know this neighborhood? Like, are they more conservative? Are they more, because not even just for us, but like for Ace as well. Like it's just, we don't want to live in a neighborhood where we're not accepted.
Right, definitely. Speaking of which, who said I love you first?
Kaelynn.
Hey, I already knew the answer to that one because just what you were talking earlier about, oh my God, when she walked in, I didn't know what to feel.
You're funny.
It was crazy. Like it slipped out.
I did say it back.
Well, not right away. Not right away. She did it.
Let's recreate this moment. What happened?
What
happened? Let's recreate this really quick.
So I was like complimenting her, and I was just like, I love like. I was like, wow, I just love your eyes.
I love your. And then she was like, I love you.
Ooh,
and then I was like,
and then she's like, what did you say? I was like, nothing.
No, I was like, wait, what'd you say? And she was like, I love your eyes. Like, I love your smile. I love you. And I was like,
no, I didn't even think I said I love you. I said, let's smile. And you're like, what'd you say after that? I was like,
what'd you say?
And I think I rolled over. I was like,
not about to say it. And she didn't actually say it.
No, literally, I thought she was like, what did you say?
I was like I'm not gonna be the person.
How soon was that after you started dating?
That was actually before we started.
I was about to say that was
before we official.
Before you started dating.
Yeah.
The 4th of July before we started dating. So it was.
Yeah, we had known each other for like a year, and then we had started like talking. We probably talked for like 4 or 5 months before we became official.
Okay. Good.
And we were friends. Like even though I said like I didn't want her to be my friend unless she was my wife, like we were. Still friends. Like I still talked to her. We were still cool.
Gotcha.
Like we checked in on each other and stuff.
Yeah. She helped me try to put my 2 weeks in, and then try to negotiate letting my job keep me. And then they did.
Now she has a remote job still.
We have that.
Nice. Look, Kaelynn, my sister has game. That's
She does. She does.
that is some game. Look, if anybody needs tips on just saying I love you the first time, take notes. All you gotta do is start with the eyes.
Yes.
Then go to the smile.
It's actually so good.
It's so good. And then just low key round
Just slip it in there.
Low key
No,
be
I
like,
think I said it in between something too. I was like, I love you, smile, I love you, this. And she's like, what? And I was like,
hey, a big old sandwich, just slide it in there.
She did.
And then if they say what, be like, nothing.
I did too. She's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I just want to know what you said. Because she's like, what if you didn't say that? But I was like, I don't want to repeat it now. I'm scared.
That is great. Wow. I love that. I never heard that story. So thanks for asking. That was good. That was good. All right. So I'm back to the LGBTQ plus. Look,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with y'all.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I didn't even know what all those meant.
I am not sure if I do know what they all mean.
I know it's kind of crazy that we're a part of it.
Like we are, but like we don't like the labels and stuff. So
Like we don't care if other
I
people
don't
like
like
labels,
that.
and we
Yeah,
don't
it's
care if people
completely
like, and people like, just like how you were asking before. You're like, what we call you, lesbian, gay,
Yeah.
bi, whatever. Like we don't, whatever you see. If you think that that's what we are,
it's
that's
just
fine.
whatever.
Like we personally just love who we love. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
Like
love who I love.
if you want to put a label on, I guess you would
On
say,
paper,
like,
we would be
lesbians
bisexual, but like you would
like-
say they're a bisexual relationship. You'd say they're a
Right.
lesbian couple.
but like for us, it's
Or a
more
gay
so
couple, I
of
don't
just
care either.
like it's more so always been like what you feel in that moment. Like I think we both have like liked both sexes at some point, and so I think that maybe that was confusing at some time because of all the labels.
Yeah.
But like I think we're both on the same page of where it's whatever in that moment, and then it's just like that's what it is. We don't necessarily put a label on it, but like
But some people need
it's
that label,
completely
and that's fine
fine.
too. But
yeah,
like,
it's completely fine. Like everybody's different. in
there weren't
that
even that many
sense.
labels, honestly,
Yeah.
when we were going through that.
I
Like,
think
it's
it was
just
a
now, honestly,
LG.
really becoming huge. Like, there weren't even that many
Yeah,
labels.
which
It
is
was really
completely
just
great
gay
to
and bi.
give that. Yeah, it's great to have that
That now,
if you
yeah.
need it, like that identifier for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I could probably name what all of them are. Nate.
I can name them all but the plus. I don't know what the plus is.
The plus is just, I guess it's just including anybody else. Like, they already
Yeah.
got transgender under there, but like,
Maybe
I just-
asexual.
yeah, just like really anything that's, I'm
Maybe
guessing
not
that's not
that.
straight. That's not considered heterosexual. Like, I'm pretty sure it's under
Yeah.
Yeah.
that. Which,
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
guys like are introducing each other to somebody, do you say this is my girlfriend or this is my partner? Or, like, how do you do that?
Mm.
Yeah, we say girlfriend, but honestly, like, it probably took us into, I want to say like a year and a half into our relationship.
before we even Robbie held hands in public, honestly.
Yeah, to like be fully open and to kind of say that, like, I know Kaelynn was like very much like, this is my girlfriend. Like she was very more like, oh, like she was completely fine with letting people know. And that's just her personality. And like, that's a big reason of why I love her so much. But for me, it was hard. Like,
Yes, she
we
loves
love
you too.
Yes. But
Hey,
like,
we all
sometimes
love you, bro.
yeah, right. But sometimes it is like really hard to just like be very vulnerable with people that you may not know, and like you don't know like if they're gonna just judge you right off the bat. Like if I were to say like, oh, we're best friends, then one person could be like, oh yeah, like completely fine. But if we were to say like we're girlfriends, then they could automatically think something different. Like, so that was always something that was scary. But I think like probably halfway into our relationship, it was just kind of like, you know what, like if someone thinks that, then it is what it is. Like, we're not gonna let it affect us anymore.
Yeah.
And you do have to get to that point, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang. So
Right.
I can imagine, obviously, that's challenging, right? To have to think about the labels, to think about who you're, talking to, how you're going to introduce yourself to somebody,
Ace.
Oh, must have been a good one. To have to think about these things, right? So like, how did the both of y'all maybe individually but also together, like how did y'all support each other through all of those challenges? Or how do you, like, I'm sure you clearly still have those challenges.
Yeah.
And we're always going to.
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, I think it does help that we were kind of on the same page in our experience, our journey. Like I have had friends that have been in relationships where like one is super out and their family already knows, and it's just okay for them. They're out. They don't mind public display of affection, all of those things. And the other one's like not even out at all. So it like causes like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? Like we were very much like in the same spot. And I feel like we were going at the same pace that we wanted to. And like when we did start being more like, we can care to an extent, but not, like I said, we're not going to make people uncomfortable by any means. Like that's not who we are, but like, we're also like, we can hold hands. Like I can introduce her as my girlfriend. I can tell people that she's my girlfriend. Like even when I would get new jobs, like I would be like, I don't want anyone to know that I have a girlfriend yet until they know me for me, because these people I'm just now meeting. I don't know how long I'm going to have this job for. Like I want them to know me first. And then like, I would never lie, but I'll say like my roommate. And then once I've been at a job for like 6 months, I'll be like, oh yeah, my roommate is actually, but
yeah, I think
now we're getting more open about it.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped that we were on the same like level with it, because one wasn't like, oh, I'm super comfortable with like just being 100% like this is my girlfriend, like let's hold hands. Like
I was more comfortable, but we were still at the same level.
Like, that's one great thing about like that we take pride in our relationship is we always want to understand each other. And like she may like in the beginning, like she was more like comfortable with being that, but like I wasn't, because I just didn't want people to think of us differently.
Like so, even like, calling her babe in front of people, like I would feel bad because I knew she didn't want that.
Right.
But it would like just be a reaction. And I'd be like, hey, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Like when I go back, I didn't want her to be like uncomfortable, like turn bright red. She does.
We just don't want to make other people uncomfortable either, because we know like not everybody agrees with it, and it just is what it is.
And we know some people are meeting us halfway. Like they don't 1,000% support us, but they love us, and like okay, so we don't need to be 1,000% all in your face about it. Just love us as we are.
So speaking of which, like, because you guys both started where your families didn't know. And so what was the process like with telling your families and even friends, like, because I'm sure not all your friends knew right away. So what was it like just having to tell those people that are close to you?
I think for me, like, I had always kind of known, like, for me, it was more so like I was attracted to both sexes, but it was more on a, like that emotional connection, like whether I felt it or not. And so I think deep down, like my friends kind of knew. And I had told my parents in college, like, honestly, like it could be either way. Like, it's just more so like emotional for me. But I never really like told anybody like I have a girlfriend or like I'm talking to a girl or anything like until Kaelynn, because I was like, if it's not going to mean something or if it's not going to go anywhere, then I'm not going to bring that up. Like, that's like a hard conversation to have. Yeah. And like, you never know how someone's going to react. And that was and that's another reason why like we didn't start dating like as soon as like we wanted to, because we wanted to make sure like, okay, our friends going to accept us, like our family's going to accept us. And I remember I had brought her to my parents' house like to pick up Dixie because they were watching Dixie after a softball tournament. And I hadn't told him yet, but like she had met them and like everything was cool and everything. And I had told him like a little bit after that, like, yeah, like we're talking. And like my parents had said, like, we just want you to be happy. And that was probably the best thing that they could have said for me, because like that's a worry. Like you don't want to disappoint your parents, like that type of thing. So I was very nervous about that aspect. So the fact that they were accepting, or like it's probably still hard, like as a parent, but the fact that like they're still gonna love us no matter what was huge. And before she met my parents, she met my like best friends, and I was like, I honestly told her, I was like, this is gonna be like a make or break it. Like you'll be introduced to my family at some point, but like my friends, like that's basically like blood to me. Like they'll be there for me no matter what.
Yeah.
And she like we come, excuse me, we come and she's like just fitting in, like they're all hanging out. Like I could have left and like they would have been best friends. And like I think she went to the bathroom or something, and my best friend Gabby, she was like, I was like, what do you think? Like, how is it? She's like, oh no, like you need to keep her. Like she is like already one of our best friends. And like I was like,
they all are still like my best friends.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so good.
And I just met them 3 years ago. Like they are really my best friends.
Like even that just meant so much, because I'm like, I know that she's great. Like, is she gonna fit in with everybody else, like in our dynamic? And it's crazy because it like didn't skip a beat. It was never awkward. It was just like, oh, here's Kaelynn. It's like, hey. And like
that is literally what it is.
Yeah. And like I was very nervous about my family, like my parents obviously, but like extended family, because like I am from Kansas, like Kansas and Missouri, like you think about it as more of like a conservative state. And they've been amazing. Like my family is better than I thought it would have ever have gone. Like
I love
they love Kaelynn and Ace. Like it was like they're theirs. Like, and they are. But
and I genuinely like feel loved and accepted by them. Like,
and like there's
no
like it's like, never like same thing. It's never skipped a beat. It's like if Kaelynn and Ace are like in California visiting like that side of the family, and I go to a family event, they're like, well, where's Kaelynn and Ace? Like, they need to be here. And it's like, they're out doing this, and they're like, well, why aren't they here? Yeah. So it's just, it's really amazing. And like my uncle will call me and like, oh, hey, what's up? He's like, well, where's Ace? I want to talk to Ace.
Yeah, I'd be like,
I'm like,
oh, Ace, how's school been going?
Like, okay, like, so that is like,
yes, sleepovers with their cousins.
The biggest thing. It was very, very, very great. And it was awesome.
That's dope. That's really cool.
Kaelynn?
No pressure, but you can share what you want if you.
Yeah, I'll just share a little bit. One thing I would say is like, I don't ever feel like I like struggled with it. Well, no, I did. I struggled when I came out, but before, like, I didn't really ever feel like I had to come out. Like the people that know me in college know that like I never like, I did talk to girls in college, and people be like, oh, you talking to her? And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to that girl. Mm-hmm. Like I never was trying to like hide it or be like, oh my God, am I gay? Am I this? Or like, you know, but I just like, if I was attracted to someone and they were talking to me or they liked me or our vibes were good and we had that good connection, like I was just kind of like, why not? Yeah. So I never, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, I feel like because I had a child and because I wasn't so open about it, like I said, people that were closest to me in college, like it was not a secret, but people back home, I feel like they were more like, whoa, this came out of nowhere. But like, a lot of my friends were like, this didn't come out of nowhere. She was always just kind of like, love who you love type of thing. Yeah. So I think it was difficult to come out, not only one, them not thinking I've ever like talked to or been interested in girls, and two, having their grandchild, and just having Ace in general, not even just my parents, but having Ace in general. And everyone loves and cares about him and wants the best for him. So obviously there's like a lot of opinions and a lot of, you know, things out there. So it wasn't the best situation. But it also wasn't the worst. Like my parents definitely didn't like shun me or like said they're never going to talk to me again, or they don't love me. Like they never were acted that way at all. But I think it's just a process. And now like, I feel like they've come such a long way. Right. And I've come a long way too. Like, in just like accepting that I might not be accepted. Like, I think I've come a long way in that aspect too, of like, in the beginning, we didn't get together because of what we thought people were going to think. But if we would have let that stop us, if we would have let like things that we were hearing from the outside stop us, like, that's insane to think about. Literally. Like, I literally wouldn't be the happiest I've ever been. Like, who knows who, like, it's just kind of crazy. Like, there's a line, like, obviously family means so much to us. Mm-hmm. But then also like a little bit, like, you kind of have to go for your own happiness. And I think like, I mean, this time it worked out. So like,
that's so dope. That's so cool.
Yeah, so it was a process, but I couldn't be happier with where like our family and friends are now. Like, I actually did lose some friends over it, but they weren't friends in the beginning, I guess. Like, they had to be, you know, and I'm just even closer to the friends I have now that accept me for exactly who I am.
Right. So. Right. I think that's super cool. And I think two things to that is like, most times now, like now that we're to this age that we are, our friends probably know us more than our parents do at this point, right?
Yes.
100%. Like our best friends, like we talk to our, like, you know, me and Terrence and Gabe, we talk every day. So like they know everything, right?
Exactly.
And obviously no knock to our parents, but they're like, they weren't at college with us. They weren't at high
like
school
we didn't
with
tell
us.
them our every single day of life. Like, one, we didn't have time to.
Yeah.
We were busy doing college. Like, we didn't have time to be like, oh, by the way, like this little thing happened. Like, no, we went to our friends.
By the way, I was in the streets last night till 2 a.m.
Right. No. Oh, I should have my friends out.
Telling our parents that. But I think that's a good point you made there, though, is because a lot of times as we grow older, things that we start to do and the people that we become can be foreign to our hometown.
Right.
Yes. They don't see us all the time, and they don't know the growth and the development that we've been going through every single day. But I think another good point that you said is like, you said it was a process, right? And I think that's the cool thing. That's why we love our logo so much, in that protected space for life and activity, because there wasn't a point that you kicked the parents out of that protected space and they kicked you out of that protected space. Y'all stayed in that circle together. Right. And it took some time, but y'all got to a point where it may have been a little rough in that circle for a little bit, but now it's so much better, which is so cool.
And I feel like that's important too, that you say like both sides have to give grace. Like, I get like a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus, like, they don't feel accepted, or they want to be accepted. They want to feel heard, and they accept when they're not. And I get that, but it's also like, you also have to give other people grace as well. Like, they're not perfect either. They may have been taught something. They may have been told things like, people are raised differently, grow up differently, like have different experiences, see different things. Like, so you have no idea why they feel the way they do. So you giving them that grace and letting them have that processing time, I think is huge. Instead of being like you said, if you're not accepting me, then I'm out of the bubble. Like, no, it's more like, you're not accepting me, let's stay in this bubble and like figure it out. Cause like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I do love you and I do care about you. So.
Right. Kind of goes back to that like unconditional love that you were describing earlier.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Y'all may not be in the center of the bubble together. One may be on that line.
Yeah, one might about to jump out, but we'll reel back in.
One may be on that line, like, I don't know. But that's so cool. And wait, you asked the last question, right, Vanessa?
I think just a statement.
Yeah, she made a statement.
Oh yeah, so I asked. Did I ask the last question?
I want to know, what is one thing that you guys love about each other?
One.
Yeah, one thing only.
So I don't get to do a list again.
Nope.
Right. I love your eyes. I love your smile.
It's my go-to.
Yeah, that's hard because there is a lot. I love that I never have to question Kaelynn and where she's at with like me and like our family that we've created. Like every relationship goes through ups and downs, but like she's never strayed from me. Just like I've never strayed from her. I hope she doesn't feel like but like I
Better not have.
well now but just like I never have to question, like she's always gonna be like there for me at the end of the day, which is very, very big for me.
I love that.
Your turn.
I think the thing that I love most about her. See, I really sound cliche when I say anything. Like, it's so dumb, but I really do think what I love most about her is who I am with her. Like, it sounds so cliche, but when you have been in situations where you don't feel like you can be yourself, you don't feel like you're loved for everything that you are, or you think that like certain things you do are wrong or flawed or annoying to other people, or like you feel like you have to change something about yourself. Like, I've never felt that way. Like things that people have told me my whole life that irritate them, she's like, oh no, that's something I love about you. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like me being loud, like my entire life, Kaelynn, bring it down. It's okay. Yep, you're being a little loud. And obviously, like, if it's not a time and place, and I'm just talking loud and don't know it, she'll tell me. But like, for the most, like, right, just at home, like, imagine how loud I am every single day. Like, not once has she ever like, Kaelynn, why are you yelling? Like, why are you screaming? Like, and I realized that because I'm like, I've been told that my whole life.
Well, there were a couple of times
to be quiet, and I'm like, why do you not do that? She's like, no, I love that you're loud. Like, I love that about you. And I'm like, that's something people hate. Like, that's something I've always been self-conscious of. Like, I don't even know I'm being loud. Like, like, if I don't have to think about it, like, I don't have to think about. Really, people in this family are needy. They need to know they're loved at all times.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say my confidence has grown. If anyone knows me, like, it hasn't always been there. Like, it's definitely a wave of like confidence, no confidence, really no confidence, like bad, but like I've had like more confidence than I've ever had, like when I'm with her, because of like who I am with her. So,
yeah. Oh, I love that. Gave me the chills. I'm telling you.
I know all about the good answers tonight. Like,
that really gave me the chills, because if you're able to say the best thing I love about someone is who I am with that person, like, that's everything, right? Because it's like, it's not just about y'all doing stuff together. It's like you becoming a better you.
Yeah.
Which is so awesome. And obviously, and I think that's one of the, and I'll say this, it low-key made me tear up when you said that, because it's like one of the best things I love about Micheala is the same thing, because every time I think about y'all, I think about, dang, my sister has become, she's already an amazing person, but she's become so much better. Like you said, like so much more confident, right? Like so much more at peace. Like, yes, everybody has anxiety and everybody has things like that, but your spans of like peace and confidence have grown
very longer. Yeah, now they're longer,
right? Like where you're more at peace. And so that's like one of the biggest things that I appreciate about y'all. And I thank Micheala so much, because I feel the same way. It's like, I love y'all being together because I know my sister is becoming a better her, which is so awesome.
Insane.
And that's why for me, it's like, that's why for me, like almost to y'all's point, like I don't care about the labels. I don't care about the, being gay or lesbian, whatever the case may be. Like when I see my sister becoming a better her,
Yeah.
well, like what else is there for me to not like? Like, I'm not gonna like this because it's a label.
Yeah, because it's a label that people decide to put on it. Like it's, yeah. I don't know, it's crazy to think about the growth. And it's only been 3 years. Like that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like the growth. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not just like,
easy.
oh, gotta love mine.
Right.
Just gonna grow great. And no, like growth is hard, but if they're doing it with the right person, like it's
Straight away.
right. What?
So we did straight away.
Yeah, you don't just like straight away give up. Like growth is hard, but it's like, I don't know, when you're with the right person that is helping you grow and watching wants what's like genuinely in their soul, like wants what's best for you, wants what's best for both of you. Know where to go with that.
So cool. So I think my next question would be, obviously I see that Kaelynn, you have the He Would Love First, and then Micheala, you got the Love First shirt on. So obviously, do you talk about maybe like Christianity and I still don't say lesbian or gay or Christianity in this type of community. How does that work for y'all? Are you open about your faith? How is that?
Believe it or not, we actually talk about our faith a lot.
Okay.
We both grew up in Christian households, and we both still identify as Christian. And I guess I'll just tell my side. Or do you want to go this way?
Yeah, I can go. You can add it whenever. I've always, like she said, identified as Christian. Like I grew up in the church and everything. Like I've always felt like God is with me wherever I go, and I've always truly believed that God has a plan for me. Now with that being said, it was hard because like you are raised with this like feeling, and like I truly felt it. But then on the other hand, like I felt like my outside life of like my sexuality, like that's against everything that like I've been taught, like the church wise. So that was very hard. Like I strayed away from religion like a lot growing up. So like in middle school, high school, and even college, like it was very hard because like it was like always like this butting heads of like I believe God has a plan for me, but then on the other hand, it's like everything is telling me that like what I may end up with a girl, and that's wrong, or like that God will not love me or have me like in all of that. And it was just like a struggle. And so there were times to where I was like, I'm truly strong in my faith. And then other times to where I was like, okay, well, I deserve to be happy as well. And if that does mean that I end up with a girl, like, I feel like that's God's plan for me. Mm-hmm. So then like, that was always like, I was a part of FCA in college. Like I was still like strong in that like belief and strong in that, like, I know God's always going to be there for me. And it honestly was like pretty recent. Like I say recent within like a year or two. Like we had the conversation before we got together. Like, do you believe in God? Like that was something that we both like wanted in like a partner.
Which
like,
people don't think that. Like
like I still wanted someone who did believe in like the same things, and like we had those conversations. So that was really cool. Like it just kind of added on. So like, okay, like this may really be meant to be, like, type of thing. And we had those conversations on and off, and like I still from time to time stray away from it because I'm like, I don't know, like you always hear these things of like, okay, well, God doesn't love that community, or like that's the biggest sin, and like all of that stuff. So it's just like kind of something you don't want to hear about yourself.
Right.
So I kind of just like kept it within, and like I just like, I know me personally, I believe in God. Like I don't need to go and like boast about it, because then that's just like asking for more targets on my back and like all of that stuff. But it was kind of recent. Like I met a family that is very, very strong in faith, and they were very accepting. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
So like it's hard, like that's been a big struggle, but like I feel like I'm at a good place to where like I can be open and still love God.
Yeah.
And I think we've definitely both struggled with that, because I mean, even me, like I've been fortunate enough to cross paths with some amazing people in college that have become my best friends. And obviously I'm not perfect. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, some people might be watching this that don't know, but I did have a son out of wedlock in college. Like, so already then I was already feeling like, okay, and I went to FCA too in college, and I was like, am I even going to be accepted in that community now? Because it's so, like, yeah, everyone sins, but not everyone is wearing that, like, carries that sin with them literally every day, like around, like,
right.
Hey, I'm young mom, like, you know, like, it's like, not, imagine everyone had to wear their sin on your shirt every day. Like, that was literally how I felt. It was like, okay, no one in that community is going to even accept me. So it's like, then I kind of pulled back. But I had friends that knew how I felt deep down, that I've had deep conversations with them about God and my faith and things like that. And they're like, no, you can still come. Like, we didn't want to pressure you. We thought you didn't want to come. Like, no, it's honestly, and I hate to say it, but it's because of what people are going to think about me. Like, oh, she's a fake Christian, like, blah, blah, but like, wait, why do I care what they think? It's about what God thinks. And like, I need to remember that always. Like, God still loves me. Like, God gave me him. God gave me my child. Like, yes, it was not the best way, the correct way, the way that I wanted it to happen, but that's how it happened. And it was God's plan. It was God's reasoning. So like, I got back in to FCA that way. And then when I did start talking to girls, I was like, okay, and like the same thing, like stray away, come back, stray away. And so I feel like that's been, I don't know, a thing for both of us that we've struggled with throughout our relationship, but like together, we both struggle with it together. And sometimes, like, I actually did have a Bible study with my friends that I used to do FCA with, and I asked her like, do you want to join our Bible study? And she was like, yeah, like I can sometimes, whatever. And I was like, how do you feel about like Bible study and stuff? So I know, like, even right now, like you opening up is hard because like you don't open up a lot. So and like honestly, like it never opens up. So like in Bible study, like we talk a lot, like in depth. And so I just didn't know if she didn't want to go or what. And she was like, I'm nervous that maybe you go to Bible study and they might be trying to convince you to leave her, basically. And it's like, I don't want her to not want me to pursue God because she thinks it's going to ruin us. But that's not how my friends are. That's not how the Bible study is. Like, which she didn't know that at the time. Like, in like I said, like I have friends that are very accepting and very loving and understand that they respect my relationship with God. I guess that's the way to put it. Like other people don't, like there's a lot of people out there that are like, even watching this, they're probably like, you guys can't do both. Like,
Yeah.
But I have friends that respect my relationship with God can be different than their relationship with God, and that's okay. But I personally, like, I don't know, in my soul, like, I feel like God does everything for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. It's God's plan. And
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be the plan that you thought of when you were 15 years old. Like, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one, I want to say thank you for your transparency.
Yes.
I think that is one, like, we know that's probably a hard question. That's probably something that's hard to talk about. But that's also something what we're about, right? And we feel honored to even that you even felt comfortable enough to share that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like to even do this podcast too, because I'm sure like it's difficult to just even share like with tons of people who are going to be watching this, like just about you and your relationship, like regardless of your community, like it's hard to just share your relationship with a whole bunch of people. So we really appreciate you just being transparent on all of that as well. But I really love what you said about like imagining like if you had to just wear your sin on your shirt, because it's like, to me that's so true. Like so many people, like they get to just walk around and kind of hide their sin, and that's like their own thing with God, and it's like I can take care of this like in my private area, and it's not something that everybody knows about. So I definitely can't even imagine like it's not something that you get to hide and just handle with God on your own. It's like everybody knows like your sin, and it's like, I don't know, I just can't even imagine like what that would be like. And it's definitely like a great mental picture for me. Like, how would I feel if I had to just like walk around with this and everybody knew and I couldn't do anything about it, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Whew, that's hard. And I think that's what, like, even starting off, I just realized me starting off the question with the He Would Love First bracelet and the Love First shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's like, you know, the world and the culture that we live in, it's let's look at the sin first and then we'll love.
Right.
Right. And
That's good.
like, and I think
Exactly.
that's what makes it so hard for y'all, because it's like, well, for a lot of people, right? It's like we're so scared of, dang, they're gonna see the bad, and then figure out, do I really want to treat them nice, or do I really want to love them, right? And so that's why I love the He Would Love First brand as well, because it aligns a lot with what we're doing, because we're going to love regardless. We're called to love, right? Even the Bible says love God and love others.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't say love God and love others if
Yeah, right.
hold on. If they don't steal from the grocery store. Like, nah, it doesn't. I've stolen from my teacher. We're not gonna talk about that on this podcast. But
talk about Ace. It is
no, hey, we're not gonna talk about this right now.
See, Ace is just like you.
I know. Wow. But right, like it's like we're trying to build this space as big as possible where people, it's not about condoning like any of these things. It's not about like, hey, go rob that store, hey, go do this. It's like,
go do what you want.
it's just like, hey, like, let's just love first, because if you love first, then we can all grow and get better, and get a space where we feel comfortable to actually be ourselves. And I think when we're able to be ourselves, that's when true growth happens, right? Like, even to yourself, Kaelynn, like, you're probably getting to a point where you're more confident and, you know, more at peace and things like that, because you're in a space right now with Micheala that you're able to be yourself.
Yeah.
You're able to just be your real raw self. And it's showing that you're growing as a person as a result of that. So super cool. Super cool.
And I do feel like that's how God's grace should be. Like, you should feel like you're covered in all of his love and in his unconditional love. And I do feel like everyone does, like you guys are doing, like everyone does deserve that. Everyone, like It doesn't, like you said, it's not if this. It's not, the people that read their Bible every day, go to church every Sunday, do this, do that, check off your list, and then you're allowed under God's grace. But it's everyone deserves God's grace no matter what. So
yeah, because I mean, it's even talked about. It's like it was given to us before we were even created, like before we even existed. So there can't be like a worthy list of like, okay, check this off, then you're worthy. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah,
Vanessa, you got a lighter question. Actually no, you ask a lighter question. We'll switch gears a little bit.
Is Ace still over there?
And we'll
Yeah, he is.
Pull Ace in real quick. I got a question for him.
Come here. Leave your iPad.
Ace, what is your favorite thing about your moms?
Look in the middle.
Favorite thing about my moms, I like when they be nice to me.
You act like we're mean.
What is the nicest thing that they've done for you?
Why I gotta put a camera?
Nicest thing.
I can't even think because we do nice things all the time.
I don't remember.
What else do you like about us?
I love you.
What do you love about us?
You guys are nice to me.
What's your most favorite thing that you've done with them?
When I was with my mom or I was with Micheala? Both?
Both, yeah.
Oh.
I went to the carnival with them.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
You went to the carnival?
I rode planes. I went on the squiggly slides.
Yeah, I beat you.
I love it. All right, so
Nothing else?
you got nothing else?
No, that's it.
Oh,
What'd you say?
so cute. So cute.
So sweet.
All right, so we've been on for a while, but
Yeah, just cut a lot out. We'll give you a lot of options to use.
The beginning we're gonna cut a lot out because there's random stuff, but I'm trying to think. I think one big. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is there one really great piece of advice that you have for either people who are not in your community who you just want them to know something about you guys, or people who are in your community but struggle with being themselves or struggle with sharing with others who they are?
It's good.
There's so much I feel like, but the main thing, because I've also been on the spectrum of mental health as well, is that there is people out there that understand. There's people out there that have been through it and get through it. Don't feel like you're alone in it. And I guess that's the whole point of the LGBTQ plus community, is to have that community, but also there's different people inside that community. There's people that don't have any problems coming out at all. There's people that, just go through different things. So, I mean, just that, I don't know, you're loved by someone out there, and I don't know, just you're not alone. You're not alone. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I feel like I've met a few people with different hard things that they've gone through that have thought that they're the only ones that have gone through it. And so that's kind of hard to see, because there's more people that go through the same things than you may think. And so just understand that, like, yeah, there are people out there that will love you no matter what. And it's like, there is someone out there that's going to go through the same things as well. Like, you're not the only one. Like, there's someone that can relate to. So you don't have to be afraid to kind of talk about your struggles as well.
Yeah.
Like, in that aspect.
And you can still love God.
Yeah, you can. You actually can. You can love God whenever you want.
You're right, Ace. You can love him whenever you
Love God,
want.
whatever you want. I love it. Preach, Ace, preach.
Because I love him. Okay, I love him. He's nice with me.
He's very nice, Ace.
He's all about people being nice to him.
Yes.
Okay, so what would y'all want to tell people that are outside of that community?
Just have the
Oh,
understanding.
Stop.
Just to have the understanding, and so, like, I mean, it's probably cliche with like this whole thing, but to give grace. Like, you can always like think certain things, but it doesn't, like, you don't know what someone's going through, and that's just like in everyday life, you don't know someone else's struggles, so like it doesn't necessarily give you the right to like judge their life off of just what you're seeing. I think like everybody within the community, outside of the community, can like use that to grow. Like, you have no idea someone else's like battles that they're going through or struggles. So just like giving grace in those aspects. Like, you're not going to agree with everybody. There's no way you're going to agree with everybody in this life, but just kind of try to understand like where they've gone through and what they've gone through, and then just kind of try to help if you can.
Yeah, that's really good. What you got, sis?
I'm gonna steal "He would love first" slogan and love first. That's it. I feel like it's just love first and
Love first.
love first.
What is
Love is the greatest of all, right? Yes. The greatest of these is love.
Yes. That's really good.
If you start with love, I mean, how can you go wrong? You know? Just love first. That's it. Don't judge. No, don't judge. Love. Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or start with "I love your eyes." Either.
That is always a good one. I love your blue eye.
I love you.
Oh well, that was a great first episode.
I think
That was
so.
crazy.
That was
Edit it really good.
that was better than I could ever even imagined.
Yay.
There was all types of emotions. We had laughter, we had jokes, we had some cries, we had Ace just stuff.
We had Dixie too. Shoot.
We had
I know.
Dixie.
Her ugly head.
No, it was funny. Like, we were talking about it. It's like, we've never talked about this stuff with anyone besides each other. So
Yeah.
it's
Like, it's not that we talk about like just in our normal conversations. That's just like our relationship. We talk about it, but like, yeah, we've
like
never
I
just
don't
like
talk about things at all.
No.
Like, you can ask Kaelynn. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
like I can talk to my
But-
friends about our relationship, but like nothing deep like that. Like we don't share.
Yeah.
We're kind of to
And-
ourselves. So.
Micheala, I hope that you don't mind me sharing this, but just like something that, because I was talking to Micheala earlier today, and I was like, "Are you like excited to?"
Yeah.
She's like honestly, like just like we've never opened up really to anybody, like what she just said, but she was like, if it helps anybody, then it makes it worth it. And so I think that's like for anybody who's listening and like any podcast that we do moving forward, like that's the biggest part about why we're doing this, is to help people to feel more comfortable with who they are, because there's somebody out there who's going to be able to relate to you, and by you sharing your story, like you make that an option for them, you know. So I think that's a huge part, and a great way to end this is just to say like this is why they're able to get on, is because it's worth it to help somebody else who might be watching, and it feels good to be able to like share who you are, you know, like nobody wants to hide who they are. So it feels good to
Right.
just release that.
Like we said, it's still a process. Like, and who knows? Like, it may just be forever. Like, we're always like learning about ourselves, and just everything in the world changes and everything around us and stuff like that. But God's grace doesn't.
Well, we appreciate y'all so much for being on this call and kicking.
We appreciate you.
It's such
Yes.
a good.
Thank you guys
Loving-
for doing this.
Loving what
too.
you're doing.
Of course. This is such a good.
I know. I didn't
start.
even get to get into my tattoo.
Oh yeah, let's talk
What is
about
it?
it.
Real quick, and then
Says saved by grace.
Oh, I forgot that you had that.
In the HTTP is right.
Let's talk about that.
yeah.
Another episode.
Know about this?
Saved by
We get a lot of
grace.
Next episode.
I got grace too.
Yeah, we get a lot of
grace.
views and people ask for like oh yeah, you have shoes. If people ask for like what's it called? Encore, follow up of us too, like what you've all been asking for.
Yes.
They're back with the tattoo.
Well, I know how we end this off. We have to end off by saying the things that matter. We love you, and Jesus loves you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We love you and Jesus loves you. A lot of people really do need to hear that though.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
do need to hear that. He would love first.